Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to my home. This is where the Norwex Wednesday weekly Facebook Lives began. Back in March 2020, some of you will remember, during our first MCO. Out of our desire to stay connected with all of you and for you to invite me into your home. So thank you for that. Some 15 months later, well, after many rounds of MCO, EMCO, RMCOs that we're all thoroughly confused, we are back to more serious lockdowns as this current pandemic continues. This is a live session shot straight from my favorite sofa, so do send the link to your friends and do write your comments, share your thoughts, your hopes, your prayers, or maybe even give a word of encouragement to others watching this Facebook Live. We have to stay connected and supportive even as we physically social distance ourselves from each other. There are less and less opportunity to do actual live sessions, so I'm really happy to do one today. And for most times now, we pre-record and premiere the sessions instead for safety reasons. But at the end of today's session, I will want to give out a gift, but I will ask for something in return from you. So stay tuned to the very end of the session where I will share with you what you need to do to get the gift that I am going to give out. And do try to share this link with as many people as you can right now, okay? So, over the past week, some announcements, some updates first. Over the past week, you would have read from our Telegram channel and our Facebook close connection about the precautionary containment measures that our appointed logistics company had to undertake. And that has obviously caused temporary disruption to the Norwex parcels reaching your customers. We do sincerely apologize for this and ask for your patience and understanding as we work out solutions to get the parcels to reach the customers. As I'm talking now to you now, we have already taken actions to air freight our top sellers from other markets and have set up another location and a different team of logistics providers, and delivery will commence in the next 2 days. We have also taken steps to offer as a token of our appreciation for your continuous support and belief in us by offering a 5% discount across the entire 20 or so product lines that's offered in the limited edition catalog. I know some of you would prefer the full catalog, but taking into consideration the current circumstances, I do apologize that we have to wait a while before we can resume back to the full catalog, but of course we will keep you updated on that. Now, whilst the disruption is beyond our control, I must say that over a spate of 1 week, it was really a miracle that we were able to get another facility up and running to resume operations as fast as we can, because there is the issue of getting people trained, getting the systems to integrate with each other, getting the delivery boys to understand the whole process, and a lot of things, a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to get a parcel to reach out to your customer or to you. But we will, as always, remain transparent to our consultants and our customers. So we will continue to update you on any progress or setbacks that the future brings. And we don't really know what the future brings right now. Okay, so now back to the topic of today. For those of you following close to the daily news and keeping yourself updated, I don't need to share the statistics. They are widely available, and also from whatever chat groups that we have on our phone, whether you want to open up to read the news or not, it is inevitable that we will get images, links, and all kinds of petitions invading our phone, all right, about the current situation. So there are really many news circulating, whether they are real, fake, or mere distortions or exaggerations of truths, or sensationalized headlines to grab our attention. One thing about this pandemic, I must say, is that there's a lot of data and information comparing to any other outbreaks that may have happened in the past. There's really a lot of information. It gets hard to process sometimes, right? But I did some reading up on the situation, and particularly on the mutations and the variants, because that really was very interesting. I found it very interesting, and I wanted to go and find out more. So I did a bit of research, trying to understand why and the how. So what I read was this. I'll share it with you. So what I read was this. So we know the virus keeps on mutating, and were given names from where it was first identified. So we heard about the UK variant, the South Africa variant, and then of course there are the scientific names like B1.17 or B1.351, which is difficult for the layman to remember. Like, I can't remember what that is or what it stands for. So to stop the confusion and avoid geographical stigmas, now these variants of concerns, okay, those that are concerned, the variants, the mutation that is of concern, or the variants of concerns, are given Greek names from alpha to omega. Okay, we've not reached omega yet, and we don't really want to reach omega, yeah? So as of now, there are 4 variants of concern: alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. A lot of us have heard about delta, I'm sure. Now, these viruses have only one goal, right? One goal, and that is to simply make more of themselves. But they can't do it on their own. They need us. So each time a virus infects a person, it uses our cells to make copies of themselves. So they bind with our cells and replicate the code over and over, again and again. But eventually, it makes a mistake. That's when a mutation happens, when it makes a mistake. So this changes the instructions, and the virus is slightly altered, and a variant emerges. And since viruses are constantly making copies, eventually the copying process makes another mistake. So therefore, mutations are random errors. But the longer the virus sticks around and the more people it infects, the more it will change. And the evolution of the variants can make them more dangerous. Right, so that's my simple explanation of what I read. Delta, the most recent addition, was first documented in October 2020, just a few months back, in India. Is one that is highly transmittable. I think most of us know that. It is highly transmittable, and is also termed a double mutant, and can reinfect people who may have been tested positive before. So whilst we do have vaccines today, the trouble is we may not be getting them fast enough, which gives the virus more time to change. So being responsible and physically distancing ourselves would be the safest precaution. So that's why we are under lockdown. But of course, there are repercussions of such a protracted lockdown. And we are all exhausted and experiencing pandemic fatigue. I'm sure all of you will agree with me. How you feel in this lockdown versus how you felt in the March lockdown, totally different. We are very fatigued, we're very tired. So pandemic fatigue is expected and natural response to such a prolonged public health crisis. The severity and scale that we have never experienced before, and then there is the unprecedented impacts on the daily lives of everyone. People are demotivated, they are bored, they are frustrated, and many are even desperate and depressed. Pandemic restrictions have imposed both hardship and inconvenience in everyday life. But there's so many kinds of description for what we feel and experience. But I can sum all the feelings we have into one word. I'm not sure whether you're sharing or thinking of that same word. It is actually a sense of loss, because each of us have experienced some kind of loss, be it a loss of income or a job, a loss of educational progress, a loss of being with our friends and family, or even as simple as engaging in sports activity, or even a loss of being unable to participate in an important event, such as weddings, graduations, funerals, baby's first moon, birthday celebration, or even saying goodbye to a loved one who departed in these times. And this does have a negative impact on well-being and mental health. The degree may vary from person to person depending on what we actually suffered as a loss and how mentally and emotionally strong we are. 2 years have gone. The virus have robbed us of 2 years of our life that we cannot recoup back. Time gone and lost. And still we do not know how long more we have to manage the situation. But we must remain hopeful. With more than a year of data and real life experiences, scientists, doctors, and research professionals now have better information to develop processes and solutions to help the entire world. And it is a joint effort because we, the citizens of the world, have to be cooperative also. And we have seen from history books that crisis revolutionizes society, pushing technology advancement, and sometimes it kickstarts social changes. Whilst different countries are at different stages of the pandemic, it nevertheless remains a collective crisis. That this collective crisis can have both positive and negative impacts because of how one action can impact another, how one country can impact another country. On the positive side, there is a sense that we're in it together, and we see many amazing examples of people supporting one another. White flag movement. We wanted to participate in the white flag movement, but because of the precautionary containment, we have to put that aside for a while. But we'll be back with support for the white flag movement. On the negative side, we see some people respond to this with a sense that they need to protect their own. And it is us versus them mentality. And many people may feel both impulses at the same time too. Nothing wrong, we are all human. But in such far-reaching situations, people look for social cues from others. If you take your cues from other people, you might be more inclined to take strong action yourself because you see other people doing it. And it's really understandable to have some anxiety and sadness. But it is important not to get stuck there. There are a number of things that we can do to maintain as much of our normal lives as possible, and in that process, our sanity too. For instance, in relationships, social distancing does not equal social isolation. These are two very different concepts, and virtual interaction can make a big difference. Self-care. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our family to take care of our own health. Watching what we eat, regular exercise, be it in the home or just going for a walk if the walks are permitted in your area, getting enough sleep, and generally taking care of your personal hygiene. This is a time we don't want to fall sick or have any kind of accidents. And also not to worry unnecessarily for things beyond our control. We can't do anything about it. So stay away from too much negative news. Yes, the daily infection rates are high. So what can you do about it? Really nothing much other than to make sure you are not one of those being tested positive. And you should know what you should or should not do, right? At this stage, I think people, everyone, me included, we need hope. How do we give hope or inspire hope? I suppose being true to ourselves and not to hide or bottle our feelings inside us. We need some transparency in our thoughts and our feelings. So I wonder if you like to participate in spreading hope with me. Would you do that? Can you do that for me? I certainly hope so. It's very simple. I like to make a video montage spreading a message of hope. So, if you can send me a short video clip of yourself, your child, your family, responding to these 3 questions in the face of this pandemic. What brings you down? Like I said, let's be open to our own feelings. We will feel down. Even the most positive person will feel down at times. So what brings you down? But remember what I said, don't get stuck in that moment. What lifts you up? Because what lifts you up could also help someone be lifted up. And what would you say to encourage and give hope to someone else? So what brings you down? What lifts you up? What would you say to encourage and give hope to someone? It could be a motivational quote. It could be anything. What would you say? So, if your video is selected, of course, I will give you a gift. What gift would you like? And I am really thinking of the Safe Haven 5 set. That's just a great gift to start a home with Norwex products, right? So this is the gift that I will be giving up for you who send me a video with those 3 questions, and if your video is selected to be put into the video montage. So please help me. Send me your video and let the Norwex team do the rest. And sometimes it is not the gift that we give, but the reassurance that we too experience down moments, but we can snap out of it, and that it is not all hopeless. We need to give hope. We need to give encouragement. Even as we are physically distanced, we can still connect and spread hope. So, come, anyone can send me this video. Even if you're not yet a Norwex consultant or not yet a Norwex customer. Let's just do something nice to spread hope among the human race. So thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay positive, stay safe. All right? Bye-bye.